I'm a fan of titanium and have it all over my life, from knives to flashlights and even eyeglasses. Today I'm looking at the Astrolux Ti3A, a titanium-bodied, small, AAA powered Nichia 218C flashlight. Thanks to Banggood for sending this light out so I could take a closer look. Let's dive in. As I mentioned, this light is made from titanium alloy from head to tail, as you can see below. Starting at the back here, the tail has a hole for a split ring down here that you can put to attach it to your lanyard or a thin cord. It also has an area here milled for a small 1.5 by 6 millimeter piece of tritium, which is something you'd have to purchase separately. The cap itself has some small milled grip area here. It's kind of like a dot pattern. You can see this pattern here, and it adds a little bit more grip to the light, and it's kind of stylish. This tail is not magnetic. The spring inside here is a brass color, and it's lighter duty. It's nothing too stout. While we're looking here, the threads, they're just normal thread. Nothing great to write home about. You've got a O-ring here. The body itself has nicely milled squares in place that are fairly polished. These are kind of like grip, but they really don't provide that much grip. The front bezel and the front head here has these grip patterns again, and these are decently useful in the head here. They provide a decent amount of grip there. And the head rotates to turn on and off. At the very front, you'll see the bezel here, and the LED in mine isn't quite centered, but the bezel is nicely machined and rounded over. You've got the glass is anti-reflective coated, and you've got the reflector there is nicely orange peeled. The measurements for this light were 70 millimeters long, 15.4 millimeters in diameter at its widest point, and 14 at its narrowest. And the weight with the battery is 32.3 grams, which is really light. I wanted to compare the Astrolux Ti3A with a few other lights that run the same battery. So on the left is the Astrolux. In the middle is the Raylight Mini Copper, which I reviewed about a month ago. And on the right is the BLF 348. And all these do run a Nichia driver. So you can see the Astrolux is the smallest and the lightest of the three. I had an early problem with my first Astrolux Ti3A I received. The head was glued in place from what I believe was excess thread locker applied during install. On a twisty light like this, that's a big problem, because if the head's glued in place, you can't turn the light on or off. I tried to break it loose by heating the light up and by using strap wrenches, but couldn't get it to budge. Banggood was quick to replace the light, as it was a known issue on some of the early builds. My second one here that we're looking at works perfectly, no problems. This light uses a Nichia 219C LED in neutral white at 5,000 degrees tint, which I really enjoy that color. The LED in my light isn't exactly centered, but I didn't really care because it really didn't make any artifacts that I found to be undesirable. The orange peel reflector underneath smooths things out nicely. You've got a hotter center, and compared with the 348, the Ti3A has more spill and a cooler tint. Let me show you that. So on the left I have the BFL 348, and on the right I have the Astrolux. And you can see they're pretty similar beams. If I go straight above here at similar distances, the BFL 348 is a smaller beam, and the Astrolux here is a little bit wider beam with a nice spill. They're both very usable beams. The output curve on this light is a little different from anything else I've ever seen. On high, after a bit of time, it increases in brightness before decreasing. I tried this 4 different times with 2 different low discharge nickel metal hydride batteries, an Amazon Basic cell and a Duracell. Both produced graphs that were similar. My runtimes were pretty spot on with what was described in the listing. The outputs are fairly flat in regards to you're not decreasing or stepping down in output. In this case, you're actually increasing. But when the battery gets low, it takes a stark decline all the way down and pretty much stops. In terms of heat, this light gets warm to the touch, but not uncomfortable. With only 85 lumen output, it's really not a concern. 85 lumens isn't a lot of light, but since this is designed to be a keychain type light, I'm not really expecting a ton. It's still lower than many other AAA options on the light. This light has a straightforward UI. You turn it on, you get the moonlight mode, which is 1 lumen. You turn again, you get medium, which is 40 lumens. And you turn again, you get high, which is 85 lumens. And you turn another time and you get strobe. There is no memory mode on this light, and nothing fancy, no shortcuts. It's always low, medium, high strobe. This head has about 1 full rotation between ranges of on and off, and you don't really need to go that full distance if you don't want to. And the threads in this light are, at the head here, are not accessible, so you can't grease or clean them. In titanium, that results in threads that can get a little bit sticky if you crank in one direction too much. So my advice would be just to turn this on and then leave it. Don't really crank on it on or off. It's not loose enough where it's going to move on you under normal circumstances anyways. Here's the packaging for this light. It's very simple. It's just a plastic box that hinges open. Inside in this little bag you get some extra O-rings, and the light ships to you just like this. So some pros of this light is someone at Banggood and Astrolux have been listening and recognizing that a lot of us flashlight enthusiasts like Nichia LEDs and our neutral warm white tint. I like that this light has a nice useful beam pattern. I like that it has a space for a tritium already milled into the tail cap. And I think this is a really affordable price for a titanium light that's an attractive combination. I wish this light had a pocket clip. I think it'd make a pretty nice EDC, similar to my BFL 348 if it had one. Threads are ungreased in the head and they get a little bit sticky if you tighten too much. I wish I could get in there, put some dielectric grease in there and improve that situation. And I'd like to be able to run this on a 10440 battery, but it's not rated for that. In conclusion, I like titanium and you usually pay a large price for the use of that material. Here, though, the light's about $21 at the time of filming, and that's a pretty affordable price for neutral white LED titanium AAA flashlight. I wish this had a pocket clip, as I was mentioning earlier, because I think it'd make a decent EDC. I see this light being attractive for someone who wants to put it on their keychain because of the small size, and they wanted a standard-sized battery. I think this would also work well to throw into the bottom of a pocket if you're not needing or wanting a pocket clip. If this is something that interests you, make sure to check out the link in the description below where you can pick this up on banggood.com. Thanks for watching this video. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Doing so helps me to make more videos like this. Thank you.